This is Montreal Now with Aaron Rand and Natasha Hall. CJAD 800.
There he is, James Mennie of the Montreal Gazette. Hey, James.
Oh, hello, David.
So, the story about the CAQ ad just keeps on giving.
Yeah, it keeps on giving. I just want to, before we go there, though, I just want to tell you, I was listening to the last half hour of the show.
Yeah.
And I tell you, because we discussed this on Friday afternoon, the idea of these furniture companies
Yes.
to Mexico.
Absolutely.
And to have it examined in depth, to have it looked at, and to hear some of those numbers that the lady from the Manufacturers Association was putting out, and the fact that this is going to be hitting the regions. The first question is, it's like crazy that we're just hearing about this now. But I guess we haven't. What we're seeing are the consequences of it. Why am I not hearing about any of this from any opposition party in Quebec? To me,
I have the same question.
A beach ball over the plate. It will cook in the regions. It's something that people. It's very tangible for them, and we'll get to the government tripping over its own feet again. But I cannot understand why. And I heard Madame Anglade came. I guess she was back from vacation when she was talking to you last.
Yeah, on Friday afternoon, she said, "I want to raise the levels to 70,000."
Well, that's really swell. But I keep asking myself, not just the Liberals, all of them, where the hell are they? This government, the only time this government stops shooting itself in the foot is when it pauses to reload. And I cannot understand for the life of me how it is that everybody outside of that political infrastructure cannot at least, use these gimmies. And if they're saying, well, no one's going to remember, guess what? If you raise it again in a month, no one's going to remember it then either. It's going to be off the plate. But here we go. Yes, this nice lady. I kept seeing her. Like I'm sure a lot of our listeners did as well, because she was even in the Gazette as a pop-up ad. Yeah. Saying in bon Québécois that it's tough to govern. And the way that Francois Legault and company handled the pandemic, I don't think anybody else could have done a better job. Now, the whole thing, she gets paid $250, although his office the Coalition Avenir Québec said today, actually, she got paid by the time the dust is settled, she'd been paid $500.
Right.
Which kind of answered one of the questions I had, because $500 is a very special figure over there at the CAQ, right? Whenever there's a problem, you give somebody $500.
Yep.
Economy's about to go down the tubes. Here's $500. Your company has to relocate to Mexico. Here's a little something. Go out, buy yourself something pretty. Listen, but it's kind of this dumb bad luck that the CAQ has, because some people have been arguing. Listen, she didn't even want money, and but what makes me uncomfortable about this, first of all, is that nobody saw this coming. Nobody saw the idea that, well, maybe, this is going to get edged. She got $250 and this thing is just taking off. It's gone viral. And but what really got me, the one question I had when I was seeing this, and I thought the answer was obvious, David, but here is a political party that poll after poll after poll says has a lock on every voter over 65. Okay?
In the regions.
In the regions, okay, yep. Okay, in the regions. I listen after
Francophone regions, older voters, boomers, yeah absolutely.
And that's the combination that wins you big fat majority.
Yeah, because they vote.
But what I don't understand, David, is if you've already got that demographic in your pocket, wouldn't you have found someone other, no matter how nice she is, than an 80-year-old woman from Mauricie? No, I'm serious. I mean, I don't get that.
I think they're aiming for a low turnout, and they want to activate that base. They think it's enough to activate the base.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The base are older voters. It doesn't matter who they support. They go out and vote. All the loudmouths out there right now who are owning Twitter, who are being so clever on social media, they're not going to make a difference. They certainly didn't make a difference in Ontario, where Doug Ford got reelected. And I don't think they're going to make a difference here. But I am intrigued as to why they would have decided. I mean, could it be that maybe the polls aren't as the internal polls are suggesting that there's a different picture, that maybe the The message is trickling down. If you're over 65 and you live in the regions and you want to go get some goods and services, apparently it's not as easy anymore, David. You know what?
It is not.
There's nobody working. It seems to me that there may be a kind of convergence with all these things that we're talking about. But in the end, it just seems that this is an unforced error, that, first of all, they should have handled this way before they did. Because this story broke, I think, Thursday when the daughter wrote a letter to the
daughter,
Warren.
yeah.
But, yeah, and listen, it's literally and figuratively, it seems cheap. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that certainly wasn't Madame's intention. I think her comments were genuine. And I don't think it was the intention of the company making the ad to turn this, to inadvertently step on a landmine here.
Right.
But that's precisely what happened. And I found it intriguing that when the story broke, I don't know if you were following it online.
Yeah.
Every single CAQ bot came out saying, don't you have better things to do with your time? This is terrible. This is a lot of story, blah, blah. And by doing so, made it into a story.
Yeah, but for the lead organizer of the CAQ to come out today, it means that it has traction.
It's got traction, but there's also that echo, because despite their massive concrete support for the CAQ, I would say people over the age of 65, have not fared that well under this government, to tell you the truth. Mm-hmm. $500 checks notwithstanding. There may be an appeal to, as one columnist pointed out, to reestablish a Quebec that no longer exists. Mm-hmm. But all that said, whether it's in terms of health care, whether it's in terms of senior care, this is not a showcase province when it comes to those particular parts of policy. So it'll be interesting to see whether indeed that support is as rock solid as some people may think it is. But who knows? But like I say, in the meantime, it's you and me talking, and the rest of the political spectrum out there seems pretty much like crickets.
Absolutely, and I'll be speaking with Éric Duhem at 5:35 about.
Okay,
that.
We'll be having some fun then.
Yeah, we will. But definitely, I agree with you. The relative absence of the opposition parties on these major issues, and here's another example: the COVID situation. This is going to be, as you pointed out smartly in your notes today. This is the worst COVID summer in 3 years.
Well, this is the thing, and my hat's off to La Presse, because they actually compiled all the numbers, and they showed that even though last summer we were still subject to various restraints, mask mandates, and so on, they're gone, and the numbers have gone through the roof. Mm-hmm. And the other thing that I find intriguing in all this is that, once again, this is a disease. It'll hit everybody, but it ravages people over the age of 65.
Yep. Once
again, here's another weak point for the CAQ that you and I are talking about, and no one else seems to be doing anything on. But it's just like absolutely nuts. And there doesn't seem to be this narrative that it's behind us now. Don't worry about it. You know what, folks? Worry about it. I've said it before on the show. If you want to wear a mask, wear your mask. Wear it inside, wear it outside. I don't care. But these numbers don't lie. They are from the highly respected Institut National de la Santé Publique du Québec. Mm-hmm. So something is going on. And honestly, I realize that we can't live in lockdown forever, but I think you can still apply some common sense regulations to keep these numbers down, because God help us come the fall. And as you mentioned last week, can you imagine if there is necessity for imposing lockdowns on the eve of an election?
That's going to help, GM.
The fun never stops.
No, but it just never stops. But just I'll end on this, James, but the Montreal children's story, it's not just about COVID. It's about labor shortage. Both are linked. The healthcare story and the labor shortage stories, they're both linked, and nobody has really picked it up to gain political ground.
I know, and I don't get it. And it's not a matter of being cynical, because, first of all, there is a certain innate cynicism in politics. But the other thing that I find striking is somebody, if you get elected, you're going to have to deal with it. This is not going to go away if the CAQ goes away. So, I would hope that they raise it. I would hope certainly that my colleagues in media raise it with them, because this is stuff that matters. It's not about laying awake, wondering about the future of the French language or whether the next Catholic Church will become, officially designated part of the heritage of Quebec. This is our future. It's the province's future. It's our kids' future. And right now, that future is not looking very bright.
Always great talking to you. Thank you so much, James.
Adamant.